We're going to give some grades today, Joy, for free agency. Some certainly better than others. Some people took big swings. Some people took swings and they're not doing what you think they're quite doing, so let's go.
All right, Professor Colin, what grade are you giving the Cardinals?
Arizona, I'd say a C+. They kind of doubled down on what they already are. They already had a really good pass rush, and so they added J.J. Watt. They were already fourth in sacks, and they did lose Kenyon Drake. But they also acquired Rodney Hudson, a very good center, and they got culture-changing athletes to their locker room, A.J. Green, J.J. Watt, Rodney Hudson. So it's a little bit of a culture change move. It's not a lot of guys that are going to give you 16, 17 games, but it's something. It's a C+.
Grading tough today. What grade are you giving the Bears?
F. Terrible F. That's the fourth quarterback they've whiffed on. Andy Dalton does not fit what they're trying to do. They also lost their best corner, Kyle Fuller. Only franchise that's never had a quarterback with 4,000 passing yards and 30-plus touchdowns in a season. So I just don't think they know how to do quarterback because he doesn't fit their personnel. They need a playmaker, a Darnold, a Marcus Mariota. That's what they need. They don't need an Andy Dalton or a Tyrod Taylor. They need somebody who can really move, and they didn't get it. So to me, it's a bad offseason.
What grade are you giving the Browns?
A to an A-. Listen, their safety unit last year was trash. It surrendered 6 touchdowns, most in the NFL. Worst graded safety group by Pro Football Focus, and they went and got John Johnson, who's a really good safety from the Rams, smart dude. They really helped their defense. Listen, their defense was like 21st in scoring defense. They've spent all their money on offense, so they're putting some money on the defensive side. You kind of get what you pay for in the NFL. They've got a really dynamic offense and a bad back end, but they got Troy Hill at corner and John Johnson III at safety. Suddenly they have a nice safety group.
What grade are you giving the Cowboys?
It's incomplete. Listen, Dan Quinn's a massive upgrade at coordinator on the defensive side. Keanu O'Neal is okay. He was a Pro Bowler 1 year. Not sure if he's still the same player. Dak Prescott's in. So you're going to upgrade defensively, less chaos at quarterback. I don't really know. They're a team I have to see what they draft. Because I think they should spend 7 picks on defense. I really think they should. Maybe 1 O-line, then go all defense.
What grade are you giving to the Raiders?
I'll be nice and say a C- because they did add Kenyon Drake and John Brown. Those are nice offensive players, but I don't like giving up Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson on the offensive line. Derek Carr struggles under pressure. Like, this is a thing for him. Now, did they overpay for Trent Brown a couple years ago? Absolutely. They paid him a left tackle salary, and he's a right tackle. But Derek Carr's not a guy I want to rebuild an offensive line with, and I just can't get past that.
How about the Chargers?
I'd give them a solid grade. I'd give them a B. Listen, the best thing for them is Derwin James and Melvin Ingram return from injury. But Justin Herbert was the most sacked rookie quarterback last year, along with Burrow. And they went and got Corey Linsley, who's an all-pro center, and Matt Fiedler, a good guard. So they're also going to draft another offensive lineman with their first pick. That's almost guaranteed. So, listen, that's the game is get a quarterback, protect the quarterback, draft guys that get their quarterback. So this year, I think they got their quarterback. They're going to build a fortress around him up front.
How about the big spenders, the Patriots?
I would give them a B+. Not a lot of stars. Listen, their tight ends had the fewest catches and touchdown catches last year. So they really went and solved Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. They solved their tight end woes. And I do think Nelson Aguilar is a nice piece. Now, they lost Joe Tooney and Marcus Cannon. Tooney's a great player. Chiefs picked him up. So, but they tend to draft the offensive line and develop that position pretty well, so I trust them there. In the end, they don't have a ton of stars. Matt Judon's a good linebacker, but they at least have now a competent receiving core. Nelson Aguilar is a weak 1, but he's a 1. Edelman's a 2. Kendrick Bourne, N'Keal Harry, 3 and 4. It's competent, which compared to the last 2 years is a giant leap.
What grade do the New York Football Giants get?
I'll give the Giants an A because I think what they're doing is putting pressure on Daniel Jones by getting Kyle Rudolph and Kenny Golladay. They're basically saying, all right, kid, we gave you Slayton, we gave you Sterling Shepard, you get Barkley back. So they brought in John Ross, who's just a straight burner, Kenny, big play guys. So they're telling you, listen, by Thanksgiving, we will have made up our mind. This is actually now a really interesting wide receiver tight end group, like top 4 or 5 in the NFL. And the other teams that have that are all getting to the playoffs. So in this division, Daniel Jones leads them to the playoffs, or you have the wrong quarterback. He's got 26 starts, so I'm done waiting.
The Jets.
I don't love the Corey Davis signing. I give him a B. I do think they added to their defense. I will give them credit. Carl Lawson gets to the quarterback, not sacks, but pressures. They also grabbed Jared Davis, a nice functional linebacker. I like their defensive moves. LaMarcus Joyner at safety. Corey Davis, I think, is an overspend. He's the classic, he's got all this potential. He just doesn't deliver consistently. It feels a little bit of a reach, especially because they drafted a wide receiver last year in the second round, and they're also going to draft another receiver this year. Receivers the position I'd like to see teams develop talent. Other places, I get going to pay for a pass rusher or a great corner. The planet doesn't have very many. I get it. Wide receivers are everywhere. Draft and develop your own mostly. Look at the Packers wide receivers. Draft and develop your own.
What grade do you give the Bucks?
An A+. They somehow figured out a way to get everybody back. Every notable player. I think it's Joy and you and I would agree that by and large, they'll be better next year.
Yeah.
And it's not like everybody has a role. Godwin's a great number 2. Gronkowski's a big play tight end. Shaq Barrett's a pass rusher. Levante David is a hyper-athletic linebacker, and JPP is a veteran edge rusher. So it's not like they just paid for guys. They paid for, influential playoff-altering players.
Who don't have to learn the culture or the system.
Yeah.
What grade are you giving the Washington football team?
Shrug emoji. I don't understand it. I don't get the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing. I really don't. I love Curtis Samuel, but I don't understand it. Of all the things, what I don't want with Washington is a gunslinger at quarterback who is fun, everybody roots for. He's got a big Lebowski feel to him. He's one of the nicest guys in the league. But let's be honest, Ryan Fitzpatrick played on 9 teams in 17 years, so he wears out coaches with his mistakes. So, again, good dude, but this one I don't get. I still think they're going to make a play either on Darnold or Marcus Mariota. Because those guys play a little like Taylor Heineke, who would be a great backup for those guys. They have the same symmetry. The game would be the exact same. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.